I said I was going to do this video. People have wanted to see this, so let's get into it. Newcastle 4, Bournemouth 1. Jesus, what a performance from the Magpies. I mean, bloody hell, all the Newcastle fans must be waxing lyrical about players like, say, MAXIMIN, about Miguel Almiron. Listen, if I was a Newcastle fan, things are on the up right now. Mainly because you've secured survival for another year. Listen, it's been a great season for Newcastle. If I was a Newcastle fan and you look at the squad, the amount of people that said that Steve Bruce is going to get us relegated, Steve Bruce is going to get Newcastle relegated. Listen, I get why Newcastle fans are still angry about Rafa leaving, but when Steve Bruce came in, Newcastle fans that watch this, put it in the comments. Did you think he was going to stay up? Be completely honest. Don't just change your opinion now because of what's happened this season. Be completely honest. Did you think you were going to stay up this safely? Because let's be fair, Newcastle have coasted it. Coasted it completely. I thought, and I'll be honest, I got proven completely wrong by Steve Bruce. Brucey for a 10-year contract. But all seriousness though, Steve Bruce has proved me completely wrong. I thought that Newcastle would stay up. I knew that Newcastle would stay up, but I didn't think they would stay up with such ease. Better than the majority of teams that are in the sort of the same area. Better than Brighton, better than Villa, Watford, West Ham. Teams that were all supposed to finish above Newcastle. And Norwich as well. Listen, I didn't think. I thought Newcastle, it would come down to the last couple of games where they just about secure safety. But they've walked it. And they've done very well for themselves. And the way that they've played in the last 3 games, I don't count the Villa game because that was a very bad performance in my opinion. I thought that Aston Villa probably should have won the game, to be honest. But the way they played against Sheffield United and Bournemouth, brilliant performances. I mean, the attacking play. Listen, when Newcastle are on the front foot, this must annoy some Newcastle fans, because when they're on the front foot, Newcastle are a dangerous team. They have some dangerous players. I mean, I can't remember them having such quick players since they had Ben Arfa, Demba Ba, all them years ago. So to have them players like Miguel Almiron and Alan Saint-Maximin, the pace on both of them is frightening. And as a neutral, obviously I like Newcastle to win games mainly because I live around the area, but it's frightening. And when Newcastle are on the front foot, they can really hurt teams. They battered Bournemouth, battered Sheffield United, who Sheffield United are supposed to be having the best season ever. Newcastle made them look like absolute mugs, and they made them look like a championship team. Shows Newcastle's qualities. I bet this must annoy some Newcastle fans, because for the majority of the season, they have been playing 5-4-1. Now, whilst they've picked up some results, and obviously everyone says, oh, but we've been lucky, but which team? Every team is lucky at some point. Every team has to ride their luck in the season of the Premier League. So, 38 games. At some point, you're going to have a stretch of 5 or 6 games where you're lucky, especially if you're trying to battle for survival. So for me, Newcastle have done really well for themselves. And, yesterday's game, I mean, bloody hell, Alan Saint-Maximin, what a player this man is. I was talking to a few mates last Wednesday when he's played Aston Villa. What I want to see from Saint-Maximin as a neutral, I want to see him get more goals and assists. He's a very flashy player, dribbling, unbelievable dribbling ability. I want to see him get more goals and assists. And to be fair, 3 assists yesterday, masterclass, basically. Dominated Bournemouth. Bournemouth, for me, are relegated. I believe that it's going to be Bournemouth and Aston Villa. I think West Ham, after beating Chelsea yesterday, I think they have that fight, that determination. I think Watford will just do enough as well. Brighton, as much as I don't want them to stay up, I do think they'll stay up. I think they have just a bit more quality as well. But I think Bournemouth and Villa are the teams that are going down, for me, personally. Norwich, after we beat them 4-0 yesterday, they have categorically no chance, really. The only reason it's mathematical is because the majority of teams haven't won any games. Because Norwich would have already been relegated now had any other teams picked up points. But for me, it's going to be Norwich, Bournemouth and Villa. I think Newcastle beating them 4-1. Bournemouth were shocking. As good as Newcastle were, Bournemouth were terrible. And I don't think the Bournemouth players have the fight in them, the determination in them to stay up. I think West Ham players do. I think Watford players do. And Villa, I think they have the fight in them, but the problem with Aston Villa is that the quality. They don't have that quality. They only have really Grealish up top. In the middle. He can't do everything by himself, as good a player as he is. But I mean, listen, honestly, what a performance from Newcastle yesterday. I mean, let's get back onto the game. MAXIMIN for that second goal. I mean, there's a point where he stops, and then in a flash of a second, he's like, bam, he runs. Oh, brilliant. Beats 3 players, passes to Sean Longstaff, who has come under a bit of criticism from a few Newcastle fans. What's your opinions on Sean Longstaff? Do you think he's a good player? Do you think he's better than his brother? That's another topic that people are very angry about, the fact that he hasn't yet committed his future to the club. Apparently Udinese offering him a 30 grand a week contract to then go on loan to Watford. How do Newcastle fans feel about that? It would be very interesting to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. The reason why I haven't been able to involve anyone with this video is because I'm still trying to find the ways to do so. Honestly, as soon as I know how to get people involved, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm getting people involved. Newcastle fans, it would be great to talk to all of them, share different thoughts and opinions. But listen, there's not much to really say. 4-1 win. What else can you really say? I mean, okay, not keeping a clean sheet, and I mean Hayden missing that sitter, bloody hell. But who cares? I mean, Lazaro played really well. Shelvey's ball was, it was a perfectly weighted pass. Brilliant from him. I think Almiron is the top scorer as well. Well, the second half of the season, from December onwards, Almiron's been banging in the goals for Newcastle. He's been scoring. He's popping up in the important moments. Crystal Palace, Wolves. I'm sure there's other games in the league as well. But brilliant from Newcastle, and now they're safe. And listen, Brucey Ball, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and people need to put some respect on Steve Bruce's name. What he's done with that club, right? Yes, he's been given the defensive foundation by Rafa Benitez, but he bought MAXIMIN. He's had a full season with Almiron, and Almiron scored more goals in this season than he has in the half season that he did with he's. What I'm trying to say is that he's nurtured Almiron. He's brought the best out of the majority of players. Hayden, brilliant. Shelvey, really good as well. Manquillo, for me, he's doing really well. Dubravka is obviously a very good keeper. And Newcastle will need to keep a hold of him in the summer, because there could be some teams lurking around for Dubravka. He's a very good keeper, to be honest. But before people put in Dubravka's better than Leno, I'm not. Listen, not today, right? Let's just talk specifically Newcastle, not other teams or other players. Thoughts, Newcastle fans? Because for me, if I was a Newcastle fan, you've played 5 at the back the majority of the season. When you go and attack teams, you must be annoyed because of the fact that when we go and attack teams, we're more of a threat when we're defending. So, and with the wingers they have, as I said, MAXIMIN and Almiron, the pace, it's brilliant. And as a Toon fan, you must be really happy. I mean, listen, it's been a decent season. Only 4 points behind my team, Arsenal, as well. So, I mean, listen, if Newcastle get top 10, and being in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, and then losing to the best team, well, the second best team in the league, can you really complain about that? I don't think you can complain about that. I think that's been a magnificent season. And obviously, if the takeover does get announced, which I believe it will be, I think that this takeover will happen. I think the Premier League are pretending to do all these checks. Listen, the Premier League, why would they not want a massive consortium like the Saudi Arabians buying Newcastle? They want more money in the league. They want another title contender. And listen, Newcastle, if they do get that owner, you got to say that within the next 5-6 years, they are going to be right up there with the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea. You got to think that they will be up there. But as a Newcastle fan, it's all positives right now. For me, anyway. If from the outside looking inwards, people criticise Steve Bruce. Who cares? Why are people? I don't get why people are still negative about Steve Bruce. It's like, the man has done really well. Put some respect on his name. For everyone calling him a championship bang average manager, which for me, he was before the season. But he's shown his quality. And the players have done themselves a good justice. I mean, they've grafted the majority of games this season. After that Leicester 5-0 defeat, the majority of teams would have thought, Newcastle are the team to beat. They're a team that, if we get at them, we're going to beat them. Newcastle, since that Leicester game, have not looked back. They've been very, very good. And they've ridden their luck. But as I said before, you make your own luck. And listen, Not as if every other team hasn't had luck this season. We've had luck. Other teams have had luck. So it's not just Newcastle that have had luck this season. So, you know, listen, for me, if I was a Newcastle fan in the summer, I want to see a proven striker bought. Because if Newcastle can get a striker that scores 15, 20 goals a season, they can be a real threat if they continue to play with 4 at the back with either 4-3-3 or 4-4-1-1. When they attack teams, Newcastle can't be a problem. But yeah, anyways, as I said, like and subscribe. Do turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video from yours truly. Leave your comments in the section down below. Tell me your thoughts about Newcastle, because I did this video mainly because I want to get Newcastle fans involved, and eventually, once things change, I will be able to get Newcastle fans involved and talk to them about different things, and I can't wait to do that. I'm very excited. I am gonna also change the channel name within the next week, so please again do leave me some recommendations. But yeah, like and subscribe. See you later. Up the mags in a bit. Bye.